You are the hero of your own story. I'm simply here to guide you. You know that moment when you unwrap a candy bar and the world just fades away for a second? That first bite is pure comfort until the sugar crash hits and you're left feeling worse than before. If your snacks feel like both a reward and a regret, you're in the right place. Let's talk about the real reason we reach for junk food and how to finally break that cycle. Everyone tells you to just have more willpower when it comes to junk food. But here's what no one talks about. Your cravings aren't just about habit. They're written in your stars. Yes, really. Medical astrology, one of the oldest forms of astrology, can actually reveal why you reach for salty chips or sweet treats. If you've ever wondered why your midnight snack looks suspiciously like your zodiac sign's guilty pleasure, you're about to feel seen. Today, we're going deep into the cosmic roots of your cravings, and I promise by the end of this, you'll never look at your snack drawer the same way again. So let's start with a little context. Medical astrology isn't some TikTok trend. It's one of the oldest ways humans have tried to understand health. Long before we had calorie counters and food pyramids, healers looked to the stars. They believed every sign of the zodiac ruled a different part of the body, and that your sun sign could reveal your physical strengths, vulnerabilities, and yes, your craving. Think of it as the original personalized nutrition plan written in the sky. And here's what's fascinating. Modern science is starting to catch up. We know our brains are wired for certain flavors and textures, especially when we're stressed, tired, and emotional. But what if the blueprint for these cravings was set long before you open your first bag of chips? So Kira Sutherland, a famous medical astrologer, says the element of your sign plays a big role in what snacks you reach for. Fire signs, which are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, crave bold, spicy, and high-energy foods that match their passionate, active nature. They often enjoy grilled meats, exotic spices, and stimulating drinks like coffee. Their meals need to keep up with their dynamic lifestyles. Earth signs, which are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, prefer rich, comforting, and wholesome meals. Taurus is drawn to indulgent feasts and creamy textures. Virgo opts for clean, organic, and nutrient-dense foods, while Capricorn values traditional, hearty, and sustaining meals. These signs use food for grounding and stability. Air signs, which are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, they love variety and creativity in their meals. They enjoy trying new cuisines, experimenting with flavors, and often favor light, sophisticated dishes such as sushi, tapas, or gourmet salads. Food is a social and intellectual experience for them. Water signs, which are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, seek comfort and emotional resonance in food. Cancer craves home-cooked, nostalgic meals. Scorpio is drawn to intense, deep flavors like dark chocolate or red wine, and Pisces enjoys soft, dreamy textures and seafoods. These signs eat to soothe emotions and connect with memories. Planetary influences like the moon's phase and the body parts each sign rules can affect cravings and eating rhythms. For example, Aries, which rules the head and brain, may need foods that support quick energy and mental clarity, while Taurus rules the throat and the neck, seeks foods that are soothing and pleasurable. Judith Hill, who's another renowned medical astrologer, and she's the one I took classes from, she connects each sign to specific body systems and vital forces, offering dietary guidance to support these areas. Her approach is both practical and body focused. Both Sutherland and Hill highlight that cravings and eating habits are not random. They reflect a person's elemental makeup, body system needs, and even the emotional or psychological patterns associated with their sign. They advocate for using astrology as a tool for self-awareness and making more aligned, nourishing food choices. When listening to this episode, you want to understand that this isn't just about your sun signs. At Any point in your life, you'll identify with one of your big three, which is your sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising sign. A lot depends upon the phase of life that you're currently in. But as a general rule, women born at night tend to associate more with their moon sign, and men born during the day associate more with their sun sign. If you don't know what your big three are, I suggest pausing this episode and looking that up. I like astro.com if you're using the computer, and the app Astro Matrix if you're using your phone. Your sun and moon signs will be clearly marked, but your rising sign can also be called the ascendant and is located in the first house of your chart. So let's start breaking this down sign by sign. I'll walk you through each sign, what it rules in the body, and the cravings that tend to show up. And as you listen, notice what resonates, not just for you, but the people you love, because understanding cravings is also a shortcut to understanding each other. Aries, you are the fiery trailblazer. You rule the head and you're always on the move, always craving action. When stress hits, you crave spice. So think hot chips, wasabi peas, and anything with a kick. It's not just about taste, it's the Mars energy because Mars rules Aries. You want to feel alive, alert, and in control. Biologically, that craving for heat might be your body's way of seeking a quick dopamine boost. Spicy foods can actually trigger endorphins to release, giving you that rush you crave. Next time you reach for something spicy, ask, what fire am I stoking? If you're an Aries, notice how you eat, fast, impulsive, and sometimes on the go. Next time, try channeling that fire into a homemade spicy salsa or a roasted chickpeas with cayenne to fuel your next adventure. Aries needs foods that fuel energy and support the head brain. All right, Taurus is the sensual earth sign. You rule the throat and neck, and you crave comfort, creamy, rich foods like ice cream, mashed potatoes, chocolate. Those are tend to be your go-tos. It's not just about indulgence, though. Rich, sweet foods boost serotonin, which soothes stress and brings a sense of calm. Your body may be asking for comfort, especially after a tough day. It's your ruling sign, Venus, calling. You want pleasure, grounding, and a moment to savor. What if you swap that ice cream for a creamy avocado smoothie? Same texture, but more nourishment. Taurus benefits from soothing, nourishing foods for the throat and neck. Gemini, you're the curious communicator. You rule the arms, hands, and lungs. Your cravings, rich, snacky finger foods, popcorn, crackers, trail mix. It's because you're ruled by that Mercury energy. You want stimulation and something to do with your hands. Try swapping chips for crunchy veggies and hummus. Gemini should focus on foods that support the nervous system and lungs, often favoring snacks with variety and lightness, which Gemini can be of two minds. So you might actually just choose two snacks since you can't make up your mind. All right. Now, Cancer, you tend to be the nurturer. You rule the stomach and chest. You crave comfort foods like soups, casseroles, and anything that feels like a hug in a bowl. Think Selena Gomez, a Cancer who talks about her love of classic homey dishes. When stressed, you might reach for mac and cheese or warm soup. Foods that bring emotional security and literally warm your heart. It's because you are ruled by the moon, and that's the influence that you're feeling. You seek emotional security in your snacks. What if you made a nourishing soup with whole ingredients? You might get the comfort minus the crash. Cancer needs meals that comfort the stomach and chest, such as soups and stews. All right, now we have Leo, the radiant leader. You rule the heart and the spine. You crave dramatic foods, so think flamboyant desserts and foods with a wow factor. Think of Jennifer Lopez, a Leo who's known for her love of luxurious, health-conscious treats. When a Leo craves something, it's got to be bold and Instagram worthy, like a decadent fruit parfait or a truffled popcorn. Leos are about the spotlight, even in their snacks. Leos tend to be drawn to foods that support the heart and provide a sense of celebration. Now, Virgo, a mindful healer, you rule the digestive system. Your cravings, simple, healthy snacks, nuts, seeds, granola bars. Virgos, like Beyonce, are famously disciplined, often opting for clean, simple snacks. So think fresh fruit or homemade granola bars. That craving for purity isn't just a personality thing. Your body might be seeking foods that are easy to digest and packed with nutrients. People with strong Virgo energy in their charts also tend to have sensitive livers. And because of that, they need foods that are easy to digest because anything that's too heavy, they tend not to deal with that well in their stomach. So they often say, they don't feel well and they're usually like just picking at their food. So it's pretty easy to pick out a Virgo if you see them picking out their food. And this is especially when life feels chaotic. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, but with an earth twist. You want order, purity, and control. What if you prepped your own trail mix with whole foods? You'd satisfy your craving for both crunch and control. Virgo should prioritize digestive health with pure, simple foods. Libra, you're the harmonizer. You rule the kidneys and lower back. You crave sweet, balanced flavors, pastries, fruit, things that pair well together. Venus energy, again. You want beauty and harmony even in your snacks. Try pairing apple slices with apple butter for a sweet treat that's as balanced as you are. Libra seeks balance in meals, supporting the kidneys and lower back. Scorpio, you are the deep diver. You rule the reproductive organs and bowels. You crave intense flavors like dark chocolate, spicier fermented foods. You're ruled by Pluto and Mars. You want transformation, depth, and a little mystery. What if you swap that candy bar for a square of 80% dark chocolate? Still intense, but with benefits. Scorpio needs foods that support the reproductive organs and detoxification, often craving intense flavors. Yeah, you guys don't like boring food, that's for sure. Sagittarius, you are the explorer. You rule the hips and thighs. Your cravings, adventurous flavors like international snacks, spicy foods, and anything new. It's that Jupiter energy. You want expansion and novelty. Try exploring new whole food recipes from different cultures. Keep the adventure and you can ditch the junk. Sagittarius enjoys adventurous foods that supports the hips and thighs. All right, now on to Capricorn. You are the achiever. You rule the bones and knees. You crave hearty, grounding foods, root, vegetables, stews, anything that sticks to your ribs. It's that Saturn influence. You want structure and substance. What if you made a roasted root vegetable medley? Hearty, grounding, and nourishing. Capricorn benefits from hearty, mineral-rich foods for the bones and knees. And if you're curious about herbs that can benefit that, I recently wrote an article about herbs you can take to strengthen your bones. So you might want to go check that out over on Substack. All right, now Aquarius. You're the innovator. You rule the ankles and circulatory system. You crave unusual, quirky, and salty snacks. Kombucha, seaweed, anything offbeat. Biologically, salt cravings can signal a need to balance electrolytes, especially if you're mentally active or dehydrated. Sodium is crucial for nerve impulses, so your cravings might be your body's way of keeping your inner circuitry running smoothly. It's that Uranus energy. Well, and it's also co-ruled by Saturn, but Uranus really gets displayed here. You want to break the mold, even in your snacks. Try experimenting with new superfoods. Surprise your taste buds and your body. Aquarius may crave salty or unusual foods, supporting the circulatory system and the nerves. All right. And last but not least, Pisces, you are the dreamer. You rule the feet and lymphatic system. You crave sweets and soft textures, puddings, pastries, and anything that melts in your mouth. It's Neptune's influence here, but also co-ruled by Jupiter. You want to escape to soothe. What if you made a chia pudding with coconut milk and berries? Dreamy, nourishing, and still a treat. Pisces tends to be drawn to soft, comforting foods that nourish the feet and lymphatic system. Okay, so why does all this matter? Because cravings aren't just about willpower, they're about wiring. Modern science tells us that our brains are hardwired to seek certain flavors and textures, especially when we're stressed, tired, or emotional. But when you add the cosmic lens, when you see your cravings as part of the unique mind, body, soul blueprint, you stop fighting yourself. You start making choices that feel true, not forced. It's not about shouting over your cravings, it's about speaking truer to your body, mind, and soul. So, how do you actually make the shift? First, notice your cravings. Get curious, not judgmental. Second, ask what's the emotional, energetic, or nutritional needs here. Third, experiment with a swap that matches the texture or flavor but uses whole foods. You're not depriving yourself, you're upgrading your ritual. And if you spot a celebrity with a signature snack, see if it matches their zodiac vibe. And every time you do, you build self-respect, not just self-control. If you're wondering, is it really the stars or is it science? The answer is it's both. Studies show that we eat for all sorts of reasons: boredom, stress, and even lack of sleep. Our bodies use cravings to signal nutrient needs, emotional gaps, or just desire for pleasure. Astrology gives us a poetic language for these patterns, but the biology is real. For example, craving chocolate might mean you need magnesium, and reaching for salty snacks might mean your body wants to balance electrolytes, especially if you're an Aquarius with a million tabs open in your brain. Here's the shift that no one talks about. You don't have to shout louder to break the junk food habit. You just have to listen truer to yourself. And if this sparked a new way of seeing your cravings, follow or share. And if you want to go deeper, my free challenge and weekly Substacks are waiting. Because when you understand your cravings, you don't just eat better, you live better. And I see you, and your stars do too. Down in the description, you'll see my junk food challenge for just getting rid of it in your kitchen. Let's clean that up and start making better habit. Go on down there and click that link. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Bye.